Steam, the largest PC gaming platform, reigns supreme despite competition. In the famous words of Gaben, my business strategy is to exist and watch as the competition shoots itself in the foot. Of course, it didn't actually say that, but the quote reflects Steam's dominance. But Steam wasn't always like this. In fact, when it first launched, many people were unhappy. So let's take a look back at the story of Steam. Steam was born out of a necessity at Valve. They needed an easy way to update games like Counter-Strike and Day of Defeat. Manually updating games led to multiple versions of the same game existing at once, which split the player base and caused many issues. Another reason for creating Steam was to combat piracy. With Steam, even physical copies had to be verified at Valve servers before they could be played. This also helped reduce pre-release piracy, where physical copies were pirated and uploaded to the internet before their official release. Thanks to Steam, Half-Life 2 in 2004 avoided Day Zero piracy, unlike other titles released that year, such as Doom 3 and Grand Theft Auto. Gabe Newell decided to start Valve in the first place because he recognized the future of digital distribution. He felt that Microsoft, his former employer, wasn't capitalizing on this shift despite its dominance. Steam officially launched in 2003, with its primary purpose being to make updating games easier. Early features allowed users to find servers, add friends, and chat. Counter-Strike 1.6 and other Gold SRC games were also updated to use Steam for the multiplayer network instead of the World Opponent Network, which was later shut down in 2004. In 2004, codenamed Gordon was the first third-party game released on Steam, though it was later delisted. Ragdoll Kung Fu became the first third-party game to be consistently distributed on the platform. Remember I said a lot of people were unhappy with Steam back in the day? That's because you needed to activate Half-Life 2 through Steam before being able to play it. People felt like they were forced to install a crappy launcher to play their game and call it a new form of DRM. This is something people still complain about, though their grievances lie not with Steam but other gaming companies. Despite this resistance, Steam showed signs of growth, reaching 60,000 concurrent users by 2004, and its game library expanded to 64 games and then later to 79 in 2005. In 2007, the Steam community was launched. It included the Steam overlay, allowing users to access their friends list, chat, track game stats, and browse the web from within a game. In December 2007, Valve hosted its very first major Steam sale, offering discounts of 10 to 50% of all titles. This would become a tradition and a cornerstone of the platform to this day. This era also saw the release of Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Portal, Team Fortress 2, and Left 4 Dead. In 2008, Steamworks was launched, allowing developers to integrate Steam's functions directly into their games, including DRM, matchmaking, and achievements. Steam Cloud was also introduced in 2008, letting developers save users' game files like save files or screenshots to the cloud so they could access their saves from any computer. These two features made Steam more of a gaming ecosystem rather than just a distribution platform or an e-shop. In 2011, the Steam Workshop was launched, allowing users to upload and subscribe to custom mods for games. In 2012, Steam launched Greenlight, which allowed users to vote on which independent games would be allowed on the storefront. However, this led to a mix of high-quality and low-quality games, as well as some meme games because, well, you gave the power of voting to the internet. That's kind of expected. And even though this feature was later replaced, it did show Valve's willingness to delegate responsibility to its community. In 2013, Steam launched its Early Access program, allowing developers to sell unfinished games and gather community feedback while updating the game. In 2015, the Steam refund policy was introduced, which allowed users to refund games played for less than 2 hours within 14 days of purchase. This is still considered one of the best things about Steam. This year also saw Valve venture into hardware with the launch of Steam machines in November. These were essentially gaming PCs running SteamOS, promising a console-like experience with Steam. However, adoption was slow for several reasons. There were too many different models with a wide range of prices, and it was hard for the target audience of console gamers, which is what they were marketing for, to know which one to get. SteamOS at the time was also immature and just not quite there yet. Also in 2015, Valve attempted to introduce paid mods on the Steam Workshop for Skyrim, but it was met with intense community backlash. This led to them reversing course, issuing refunds, and admitting their mistake, which is a pretty good response compared to most corporate reactions to backlash these days. They also launched Steam Link, a device you could plug into a TV to stream games from your PC. This was later discontinued and replaced by a software-based app of the same name. In 2017, Greenlight was replaced with Steam Direct, which let developers publish their games for a $100 fee that they could recoup later. In 2018, the Epic Games Store emerged as a threat to Steam. They had a more generous revenue split of 88 to 12% with developers. Steam responded to this by adjusting its own revenue share for high-earning games. Gaben even said he welcomed the competition because it keeps us honest. In 2021, the Steam Deck was revealed, Valve's newest hardware venture. This handheld gaming device, which launched in 2022, runs on SteamOS with Proton, allowing it to run a vast library of games. This was the culmination of their failed hardware efforts with Steam machines, and a testament to them learning and improving until they nailed it with the Steam Deck, which is now one of the most popular and best-selling handheld gaming devices. And that brings us to the present. In 2024, Steam had 145 million monthly active users, 13 million daily active users, and earned around $10 billion in revenue in 2024, with a total of 15,000 games released that year alone, and a total of more than 100,000 games on the platform. That is the story of Steam.